House of the Dragon, aka House of the Dipshits. Let's get into it here, folks. If you are not familiar with me, you've been living under a goddamn rock. You've been hiding from the facts that I spit. You've been avoiding the truth bombs that I drop that are the size of nuclear warheads. I am the one, the only dead metal media. And my addiction is truth. My prophecy is waking up all the docile sheep who subscribe to the mediocrity of modern media. And my mission is to get you to wake the hell up, look in the mirror, and realize that you've been entertained by lies because you refuse to use your head. Now let's get into the topic at hand. House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, making its long triumphant return, helmed at the pen by the great George R.R. Martin, Father Time himself. That old fat mall Santa looking motherfucker has returned to deliver even more god-awful, boringly dialogue-heavy, lacking in the action, bored, bland as shit, picket fence, white bread bullshit that all these unsatisfied, middle-aged women and closeted homosexual men seem to enjoy. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Game of Thrones. I didn't enjoy the first 6 seasons. The first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones were some of the worst TV that I ever have witnessed in my day. Season 7 started to pick it up, and Season 8 was a piece of absolute television greatness. Deserved all the Emmys. It wrapped up every single arc in the series in a satisfying way and delivered a fitting conclusion that was penned by the greatest minds to ever grace television, D&D. You know who I'm talking about. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Now, here's the problem with House of the Dragon. Nobody cares about the Targaryens. I know I didn't. Every time that blonde bimbo bitch was on the screen in Game of Thrones, I passed out. Watching her liberate a bunch of dickless soldiers who bow down to her even though they can't rail her, or watching her cry about the fact that a throne that she's never seen was taken from her when she was a baby and she believes she's the rightful heir, and now she's chilling out over there in Essos. Like, my God, what an entitled bitch. I like to think of Daenerys Targaryen as George R.R. Martin sniping at these entitled millennials and Gen Z clowns out here. I really do, because the bitch is full of nothing but this is mine by right. Really? Honey, the world doesn't owe you anything. Robert Baratheon kicked the ever-loving fuck out of your family, knocked him off the throne, and you've been wallowing in self-pity since. Now, why am I recapping this? I'm recapping this because this was the most baseless, boring plot line in the OG Game of Thrones. Every time Daenerys was on screen, she was disconnected from the entirety of the main plot until the end of Season 6, beginning of Season 7. Nobody found her character interesting. Nobody thought it was a fun, good old grand time watching her play Liberator over in what is the fictional equivalent of a third world country. It's not entertaining television. Now we have an entire series dedicated to that premise. Watching these blonde bitches and bastards parade themselves around, set like 3,000 years before Thrones even took place, having to endure the Targaryens for hour-long stretches at a time, and it's being led by talentless hacks. Okay? I don't know why we're trusting the lead of our new series, banking off the most profitable, not the best, but the most profitable TV show of all time, the most popular TV show of all time, with that skinny-ass white boy, Matt Smith, who basically killed off Doctor Who. Doctor Who hasn't been relevant since Matt Smith took over the role, and it's still in recovery over a decade later. All right? And then you take a fragile franchise like Game of Thrones that doesn't have the best reception at the moment, and they're going to cast him in the lead? And who else is in the supporting cast? We've got absolute jokes like Olivia Cook, who couldn't cook up good acting if someone handed her a $100 bill and gave her the script to fucking Dora the Explorer. The series is an absolute joke. It's dead in the water. This series has effectively come back, brought the Game of Thrones name back, which was already in dire straits, and now, instead of it being trash on the floor, They've used that trash to proverbially wipe their ass, and now you got a shit-stained piece of trash on the floor instead of just a piece of trash. It's garbage. It's disgusting, but HBO will pursue green light and shit out anything in the name of the almighty dollar, and you idiots who already have their dicks hard pressing up against the zipper of their jeans ready to blow on August 21st when the premiere comes so you can watch a bunch of bad actors wearing horribly obvious blonde wigs pretend to play Dungeons and Dragons for real about the least entertaining family in all of Westeros, Essos, in the entire world of Game of Thrones, in the entire world of fiction. You have fun with that. I'll be watching good TV. I'll be watching real TV. I'll be watching the remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. 100% better because we got that clown Will Smith booted the hell out. If you're excited for House of the Dragon, you may as well retitle the show House of the Drones because you're lining up as a mindless zombie to consume content you know is going to be trash just so you can say you watched it, you pathetic fear of missing out having loser.